Have you noticed something strange lately? People who once ignored you have started paying attention. Some conversations suddenly stop the moment you walk into the room. Someone who never checked on you suddenly wants to know how you're doing, and those who thought they had you all figured out now seem strangely confused. It isn't your imagination. Something about your energy has changed. Not your clothes, not your appearance, not even the words you speak. It's something much deeper than that. People can feel it, even if they don't understand it. The interesting part is this. Most of them aren't talking about what you did. They're talking about what happened to you, because the version of you they once knew no longer exists. Welcome back. If this message found you today, perhaps it arrived at exactly the right time. Take only what resonates with your heart and simply leave the rest behind. Now, let's explore why your transformation is becoming impossible for others to ignore. The first thing Spirit wants you to understand is this. Real transformation is usually invisible. People expect change to look dramatic. A new relationship, a better career, a different lifestyle. But the deepest changes rarely happen on the outside. They happen quietly inside the heart. One day you simply stop chasing people who never valued you. You stop explaining yourself to those determined to misunderstand you. You stop fighting battles that no longer deserve your energy. Nothing looks different from the outside, yet everything feels different, and people notice. Even if they can't explain why, the energy surrounding you now feels remarkably calm. Ironically, that calmness is making certain people uncomfortable. Why? Because they became familiar with the version of you who constantly questioned yourself, the version who apologized too often, who overthought every conversation, who worried about disappointing everyone. Now, you're quieter, not because you've given up, because you've found peace, and peace has a strange effect. It speaks louder than arguments ever could. Spirit keeps showing an image of someone watching from a distance. This person hasn't forgotten you. In fact, they think about you far more than you realize. Not necessarily because they regret everything, but because they can no longer predict you. People often confuse predictability with closeness. When they always knew how you would react, they felt comfortable. Now your responses surprise them. Sometimes, you don't respond at all. That silence says more than any explanation ever could. Another message is becoming very clear. Someone expected you to come back, to reach out, to apologize, to ask for another chance. They believed time would eventually pull you back toward them. Instead, time carried you somewhere entirely different, and that realization has become impossible for them to ignore. Because while they stayed emotionally in the same place, you continued growing. Growth creates distance. Not because you're trying to leave people behind, but because not everyone chooses to grow alongside you. Sometimes your healing quietly exposes who depended on your pain. Think about that. Some people only knew how to relate to the version of you who constantly needed reassurance. Now that you've learned to stand on your own, they don't know where they fit anymore. That's why confusion often follows transformation. Spirit also highlights something beautiful. Your heart hasn't become cold, it's become wise. There's an enormous difference. A cold heart pushes everyone away. A wise heart simply chooses carefully who gets close. You've learned that protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your energy. That lesson changed everything. One person especially keeps replaying old memories. Certain songs remind them of you. Certain places instantly bring your face into their mind. Even ordinary moments unexpectedly awaken emotions they thought had disappeared. They wonder, when did everything change? What happened? The truth is, nothing changed overnight. It happened one quiet decision at a time. Every boundary you respected, every tear you allowed yourself to cry, every difficult goodbye, every lonely evening spent rebuilding yourself. Those small moments became your transformation. People often imagine healing as a destination, Spirit says healing is actually a series of tiny choices. Choosing rest instead of chaos. Choosing honesty instead of pretending. Choosing self-respect over temporary comfort. Most people never witness those choices. They only notice the person who emerges afterward. That's why your growth feels mysterious to them. They missed the entire journey. Another energy keeps coming forward. Someone wishes they had appreciated your presence while they still had easy access to it. Distance has a way of revealing value. When someone becomes unavailable, people suddenly remember everything they overlooked. Your kindness, your patience, your loyalty, your ability to understand people without judging them. These qualities seem ordinary while they're present. Only absence reveals how rare they truly were. Spirit also reminds you not to confuse curiosity with connection. Just because someone suddenly wants to know about your life doesn't automatically mean they've changed. Sometimes people simply want reassurance that you've stayed the same. When they discover you haven't, they're forced to face their own lack of growth. Continue observing actions. Not words. Actions never need translation. Your energy feels incredibly balanced now. You're no longer desperate for answers. You're no longer trying to convince people of your worth. You've realized something many spend years learning. Your value never depended on another person's recognition. It existed long before anyone acknowledged it. That realization creates a quiet confidence, and confidence without arrogance becomes magnetic. People naturally notice it. There's another beautiful message coming through. Someone secretly admires the strength you've developed. They may never admit it aloud, but your resilience inspires them. Watching you rebuild yourself has shown them what's possible. Sometimes your greatest influence comes from simply living authentically, without trying to impress anyone, without trying to teach anyone, just becoming yourself. Spirit now speaks about timing. Not everything unfolding around you requires immediate action. Some situations simply require patience, not passive waiting, but peaceful trust. Life often rearranges itself behind the scenes before visible changes appear. Continue building your own future. Continue protecting your peace. Continue trusting your intuition. The right opportunities won't require you to chase them endlessly. One final message keeps repeating. Stop worrying about being misunderstood. Everyone sees life through the lens of their own experiences. Some people will misunderstand your silence. Others will admire it. Some will call your boundaries selfish. Others will call them healthy. You cannot control someone else's interpretation. You can only remain honest with yourself. That's enough. Spirit shows one final image before this reading closes. A sunrise, not dramatic, not loud, just steady light slowly replacing darkness. That's your energy now. You aren't becoming someone entirely different. You're becoming someone more authentic, more peaceful, more courageous, more aligned with who you were always meant to be. Eventually, people will stop asking what happened to them. Instead, they'll quietly wonder, how did they become so strong? And perhaps the answer is beautifully simple. You stopped trying to become who everyone expected, and finally became yourself. If this message resonated with your heart, let me know in the comments which part spoke to you the most. Don't forget to subscribe for more intuitive readings, spiritual guidance, and messages designed to help you trust your own journey. Until next time, protect your peace, trust your intuition, and remember, the most powerful transformations are often the ones that happen so quietly that the world only notices after you've already become someone new.